Hey guys, my name is Winifred Andy. I'm an ethical hacker in training, and what you're about to see is a presentation where I show you how to access any Android device using Kali Linux and Metasploit. I hope you're ready. I hope you're really excited, so let's get into the video. So the first thing we're going to do is open our virtual lab. I am in my VMware player, as you can see. Alright, and then we're going to open our terminal, which is where all the magic is going to be happening. So the first command we're going to run is ifconfig, which kind of just shows us our wired network connections, where we'll see our IP address right here. And we're going to copy that, and you're going to see why as we go further in the video. So my next step is to open the folder where I would want to create my payload. So I'm just gonna create a directory and call it programs. And then this is like the most important part of this whole process, creating the payload. So we say MSF Venom, which is a package under the Metasploit framework, -p standing for payload, and then Android/meter preter/reverse_TCP. Now we say Android because we're trying to access an Android system. If we're trying to access any other kind of system, say Linux or Windows, that is where we would specify it. Now the next thing we're going to do is decide what IP address is going to be listening to the victim's device. So the IP address we copied earlier comes in handy now, and we have dropped that. The next step is to decide the listening port, which I use 4444. And then this is the most important part of the payload creating process, the output. So you want to name your payload something that your victim would want to download, something that they wouldn't think twice about downloading, right? So this is where you employ your social engineering skills. I will name mine spy husband.apk. And once you click enter, your payload begins to be created. Alright, now when you're creating your payload, don't forget that Linux is a case sensitive language, so your L host capital, your L port capital. Alright, so now the next step is to open another terminal again and spin up a simple server. It is serving. Now we go to our browser, alright, and then we access using our IP address and the port we served it on. Now here we are. This is the payload we just created. So we're going to right click and say copy link location. Don't copy the text, copy the link location. Alright, so copy that. Now the next step is to use a link shortener, because you would want to send this over the internet to them, or you want to send it to them one way or another, and you want it to look normal. You know, if you don't use this, you'd end up sending these numbers here, and I don't think anyone would want to download that. So using a link shortener, I use shorturl.at. There are so many link shorteners out there, you can use whatever you want, and then paste the link and shorten. Now this is the URL you can send to anyone that you want to attack for them to download it. Usually people send this over email, social media. Another way you employ your social engineering right here, be creative. Where would the person usually open? That's where you'd send it to. So now the next step is to run our MSF console. All right. So that's basically the interface of the Metasploit framework. So we run that. And it has run. The next thing is to say use multi slash handler. And then we set payload to what we set earlier, Android / meterpreter / reverse TCP. Then we set lhost yet again. Now don't forget, this is a very important part. In this setting of the lhost, you don't use the equal to sign. That's a mistake I made over and over again until I figured that out. So yeah, I'm helping you out. So you just paste the IP address that you set it to listen to, and then you set you show options to see if what you have set has applied. So yeah, as you can see, our lhost is the IP address, our lport is what we set earlier, and then we now say exploit. And as you can see, a meterpreter session has opened. So you quickly run a command so that the connection does not break. And now this is like a whole list of things that we can do to this person's device remotely. They will have no clue what is happening, and you can do all of this. Okay, you can do core commands like see the backgrounds of their current session. You can do file system commands. You can do networking commands. You can do system. You're basically in charge of this person's device now. Like, you're the one that owns it, basically. You can even take a screenshot, webcam, Android commands. Let's just do some Android commands. Let's say dump SMS. Want to see all the person's SMS messages, and it has dumped into a file sms_dump.txt. all right, we want to check, is this device rooted? Because you know, rooted devices are easier to manipulate. So check if the device is rooted, and the device is not rooted. You can basically do all these things on the person's system. So a disclaimer, guys, don't do this without the person's permission. Please don't do this without the person's permission. I'm not the one that sent you, I'm not the one that taught you. Alright, so that's basically it. You have accessed the person's device remotely using Kali Linux and Metasploit. I will see you in my next presentation. Thank you so much. It is still me, Win Machine. Bye.